Hi everyone, this is Scott Dudley from Funnel Fella Radio, and today I've got the pleasure of interviewing Ben Moote, the funnel hacking master, who we've both got a bit in common with each other. So how's it going today, Ben?
Hey, it's doing well. How are you doing, Scott?
Pretty good, pretty good. So yeah, Ben's in Georgia, I'm in Perth, so 12-hour time difference. It's super early in the morning for him, and it's sort of early evening for me. So with that said, let's get straight into it. So if you can tell me just a little bit about your background and how you first got into funnels and marketing in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. So I always loved the idea of marketing. Like I'm one of those kids that like sat at the table and would like sing the jingles off of like the adverts on TV. I was that kid. I was the kid who liked to design things and make things pretty, who did a good job like helping out like get fill events in high school. Like I liked marketing. It was fun. But once you get into college, suddenly like you realize that on the other side of college, there's this monster called the real world, and it scared me to pieces. Like I always felt like it was just looming there, waiting. And so I would, I took my dream back more and more and more, just to make sure that I was actually able to take care of my family and prove I could do it. And so I kept going back and back until I became an analyst. And it like pushed all the dreams, all the ideas like way off to the side, and just said, you know what, I just have to be able to prove my worth on the numbers on a spreadsheet, so that way I can be like, look, I made this much money off of this. I'm worth keeping.
Mm.
Um, and it was a really freaky situation. So my first job that I got into was at Overstock.com, and I was an analyst, which wasn't my forte at the beginning. It
Yeah.
became my forte as I kept going. Like I like learned to love numbers. You delve into numbers, you delve into truth. And so like I love the numbers. Like I was having a grand time. I downloaded, I would play in Excel for hours, just crunching the numbers so I could come back to somebody and be like, this is what's really going on.
Yeah.
And at one point, the CEO stood up. CEO stands up in front of everybody and says, look, we've been growing about X% over the last several years. It's really not because of marketing. Marketing has just like kept things moving. This has been rather organic. At this point, we're kind of slipping in those numbers. We're going to guarantee X% growth for the next year through advertising because, quote, we know what buttons to push to guarantee results.
Okay.
And everybody walked away from the meeting going, I don't know if this is a good idea. Like, this might not be a good thing. And I'm walking away going, they know what button to push to guarantee a result.
Mm.
How do they know that? And why doesn't anybody else know this? Like, oh my gosh. And so I started delving into how you're able to track things, why you track things, and how you track everything from like the click all the way through the revenue. And I started to jump into people who are doing this online, who are teaching the same ideas. And that's how I stumbled across funnels. I stumbled across a build your build your business online ad, and it was talking specifically about how you how it's a real business. It's true principles. You just swap out products, and as long as you how do they know they don't know this? Like, oh my gosh! And so because I know the principles here, how can I make this work? So suddenly there was this meld, and I quit my job a year after gaining it at Overstock.com. Started building funnels and websites for clients. Started running traffic. Started creating my own funnels, and it was really hard for the first little while until I found ClickFunnels. And ClickFunnels hadn't, I stumbled across, been invented yet. It was like right before it was invented. So I joined Russell Brunson's inner circle, which was then
Okay.
$5,000. And I joined the inner circle. And about 3 months in, he's like, hey, I've been working on this project. I just want to give you guys access. Like, it's going to break everywhere, but I want you to be able to see it and, give me some feedback. I'm like, done. So he sent it over. It was a mess. Oh my gosh, it was bad. Like it just broke everywhere, all over the place. But even when it was breaking, I'm like, 3 months. Oh my gosh, I get it. Like I don't have to create something from scratch on WordPress every single time. I don't have to like the UI is user friendly. Like everything just clicks.
Mm.
And I was like, done. ClickFunnels is where I'm going to live. I don't care how bad they screw up this initial product. This makes sense. And they didn't screw it up. It's grown into a multi-billion-dollar gargantuan machine.
Yep.
And so I'm a diehard funnel hacker since the very beginning. Like the original shirt, misspelled funnel hacker. It doesn't have an E at the end. Funnel hacker. And so I've got that shirt over there. Like, and I've been around for forever. I love this stuff. And so today what I do is I find what works before the build. That's like the biggest optimization trick and hack that I can give you guys before we get started is to go and find what's working first. Like it's something that, Russell Brunson, if you followed him before, he talks about it all the time. Go find what's working. And you're like, yeah. And then you go out the door and you find that one funnel and you're like, yeah, that's good enough. Because research sucks. It's boring. And we really don't like doing it.
Yeah.
But the fact is, it's the best part. It's so much fun. It's the best part of this whole thing because it literally blueprints everything. I built hundreds of funnels for hundreds of clients before I added in a hack as part of the product that I provide to somebody. And now I added a hack at the beginning, and it's like, I will not do anything until we research what's working in the marketplace now. It shortcuts copywriting. It shortcuts design. It shortcuts the layout. It shortcuts everything. And I'm not talking about a direct lift. Like we are not copying. We're modeling the key essentials in the marketplace over here. From the ads all the way to the back-end conversions, we're just going to model it. And I added that in because customer wanted to pay me a lot, I thought at the time. I was like, oh, if they're going to do that, I need to provide more value. So I threw in a hack. Usually it takes like 3 months to get a funnel optimized. Once you get it built, you've got ads running to it, you get things like, ooh, the results are coming slow. Ooh, I don't like these results. I don't know how to talk to the client about the fact that we're making, or it's going better, but it's just not where it needs to be. Like you're always in that weird situation. We added in the funnel hack, and within a month, it was turning out numbers the client wanted. And I went, whoa, will that work again? And so then I went and took it from mortgage and I went and put it into dentistry. Same thing. Like, whoa, take it to the next piece. And literally, I cannot do anything without funnel hacking anymore. You have to first go and do the market research. You have to do the hacking. You have to find out what works. Take those key ingredients, those pieces, and move them over into your funnel build. And holy cow, it speeds everything up. So that's what I'm doing these days. I do that for clients. I teach people how to do funnel hacking, and that's kind of my fun little thing in the community.
Awesome. So you've already sort of answered my second question, which was going to be what projects you're up to currently. So moving into the actual optimization side of it, what sort of things do you test the most and find the most important to get on top of?
So honestly, like once you get the funnel up, there's two things that you want to model. Like the copy or the design really doesn't matter. As much as all of us like to make a funnel that's pretty and be like, I can actually make a funnel that looks good. It's not pathetic. Like I can do this. Then once you get to that point where like I can build a good funnel, it's like you're like, I will only build pretty funnels. The top funnels all look disgusting. They all suck. And so it's not design-wise. They're funnel ugly. And so your job is not to create something that's pretty. Don't optimize that. It's fun, but it doesn't do it. So step away from that. What do you optimize if it's not the design? The other options are literally the copy. It's the copy. And the copy will make or break this thing. And so the only thing that I test are different headlines. I will test 2 different headlines and see which headline gets the best opt-in rate. That's literally what I test. Everything else stays the same except for copy. Copy always wins. So the headline specifically is the biggest winner in a webinar. In a webinar funnel, you want to test that. In an opt-in, it's the offer. It's actually the offer that you're trying to test. If it's not sexy enough, people aren't going to put in their information. They're like,
Yeah.
no, that's okay. I don't need it.
Yeah.
So you need to have something that's like extremely powerful, good worth. That's obvious. Like I would pay for this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. You have to
need
pay
have
for it.
that.
Yeah. It has to be good enough to pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. So you need to do that. Like there are pieces that you plug in. Most of your headlines are all around, this is how we discover this. This is how we do this. Lead with the result. Lead with the result. What do people want you to give? What do people want from you? It goes back into Russell's, and he just came out with Traffic Secrets. I'm waiting for it. But in Expert Secrets, he talks about how there are 3 niches: health, wealth, relationships.
Yeah.
Promise wealth if you're going to be selling wealth in the headline. Promise the added relationships. And then you can niche inside of there. He talks about how you have sub niches and you choose your own niche. You can like bridge a lot of that in just the headline and make it very attractive. And then he gives you some ways to make it more attractive. This is all about copywriting. It's all about copywriting. That's the number one thing to test. Hook, story, offer, the things will make or break your funnel.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with the design side of it. That's so overrated. And most people will judge a funnel on the design, and having a pretty funnel doesn't mean it's going to convert. I mean, it's got nothing to do with it, really. No,
it really doesn't. And when you try to make it pretty, you're usually decreasing the load time. Or increasing the load time. My apologies. You're increasing the time for somebody to wait for this page to load so they can do something with it.
Yes.
Like if it doesn't visibly load, it doesn't have to fully load, but if it doesn't visibly load in the first 2 seconds, they're gone. And then it has to be usable within 5 seconds. Like most of us, when we get pretty, it just never happens. Like make it so complex that it just doesn't convert.
Exactly. All right, so I know you've sort of got your own proprietary process, and you don't want to give away all your secrets, but is there like a particular strategy, process, or methodology that you use to optimize funnels? Just sort of a basic framework that you could share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to answer your next question in this question. So
you're getting ahead of me.
I'm going to answer both together, because you can't separate the two. Inside of ClickFunnels, because I use ClickFunnels like I'm just a diehard. I know there's Kartra. I know there are other things out there. I've used them. I've tried them. They're all great. I'm a ClickFunnels guy. Like that's where I love being, and so I can't deny that. So I'm not going to. That's where I am. So what I've done is I have literally, what are we talking about? Optimization. Inside of ClickFunnels, you can create split tests. 1 click, split test done. It's easy to do, and it shows you the optimization change on that part of the funnel. It's not enough. The way you change a headline at the beginning can change the entire funnel flow, the entire thing. But you need to be able to track that. And so literally, I hook on another analytics platform that you know of, Scott, called Funnelytics.
Yeah.
And I do not do that 1-click split test because that causes an error in Funnelytics at this point. I think they're working out kinks.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So literally, So I would duplicate the page, just say version 1, version 2, and then make sure that they both redirect to the right place.
Yes.
And then literally just rotate them. You can do a rotator in ClickFunnels. There are ways to do that. You just put a page at the beginning or with a split test, and then the split test has a timer that's expired, goes to one of each URLs. Ta-da, automatic rotator. So you build that out. You're able to test those 2. You put those into Funnelytics, because Funnelytics is a funnel analytics platform, and it will show you the numbers all the way through the funnel from each individual touch point. So before Funnelytics, I was like that nerd that made sure that every Facebook tag and value was correct for everything I possibly could. So that way when we actually turn on the traffic, I could be like, well, they got to this point in the funnel. That's where our cost is breaking. That's where we need to fix.
Yeah.
Analytics will define everything for you. But you have to first see what are the numbers. And then at that point, you can say, this is what we fix. This is what we fix. This is what we fix. It makes life so much easier. But you first have to build it, and you have to set up the tracking. It's not too difficult. If you're not trying to be super crazy and try a whole bunch of optimization stuff, just build it the best way you can. Just make sure that you use, if you can use the Facebook tags, it's great. But look at what your numbers are and then see, where are my numbers broken? Doesn't mean the funnel's broken. Doesn't mean funnels don't work. It means you have something that's broken. Come in here, grab that gear, twist it a little bit, put some oil in the machine. It'll start working. You'll figure it out, but it does need those optimization touch points. And analytics and understanding the data is the answer to all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I completely agree with you with ClickFunnels and Funnelytics. That's for funnel marketers, that's just a marriage made in heaven. They're the two most important tools that you need. And like comparing to something like Google Analytics, it's not even close.
No. And Google Analytics is free, but it's also a pain to set up. Like, you have to be a Google Analytics expert
to
actually understand what the world you're looking at. So,
and there's too much information in there as well. It's just information overload.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So there's ways to make your life a little more manageable. Like, the big kids go with like people like Wicked Reports. Like, if you two Comic Club winners in Inner Circle, they're using Wicked Reports, they're using Hotjar, they're using all these other things. Funnelytics is that thing that's been missing.
Yeah.
And it makes this Wicked Reports is like minimum like $500 a month.
Oh, geez.
Funnelytics brings us down where it's actually usable and visible, and it does so much more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So can you think of an example of a marketing test that ended up providing, say, a weird or unexpected result that you never thought was possible and like blew you away?
That is an excellent question. I've been racking my brain on that one because, like, there have been a couple, but it's weird optimization test. So like, for me, like, the weirdest ones that I did was back when I was at Overstock, honestly, and we were changing pricing. Those are the weirdest optimization points. Like, when you're in e-commerce, pricing becomes important.
Yes.
Especially when you've got a giant store. And so those were the ones that were really weird. Like, you could raise the price and it would actually increase the sales if you didn't increase it to a certain point. But inside of the funnel world, like, optimization, it's the hard part with optimization is seeing your numbers and being able to just point out what to change.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it. Like, once you have that, it's pretty simple. It just takes some creativity to be like, okay, this isn't working. What can we do? Make it a game. Make it fun. Make it something new. That's the best way to make it work. And don't overcomplicate it. Like, you don't need 3 split tests. You don't need 4. Just, if you're going to do any, do the 2. Or just do the 1 and say, where's everything broken? Because that helps clean up so much of mess. Everyone wants those, like, simplify this freaking funnel. Don't create 7 different customer paths, because you can't optimize a thing. You've created a beast that you can't touch because you don't understand if it's working or not. And you don't know which cog you're supposed to change. Just make the one path, adjust it, then go to the next path, and fill it out as you please. But do that first. I honestly, like, the simplification is the biggest aha for me. Just simplify it. Like, we want to make these big things that are exactly what our customer wants and does all this cool stuff. You don't need to have a customer journey for every single opinion your customer may have. You don't need all of those pieces. Just make the best thing first. Best kick out, best it's your best version of the Roadster. So you put all the car together, you open up the garage door, it's just something to get it on the road so you can show your friends, check this baby out. I do a good enough job that it's good. It's It's not going to work perfectly though, but get it out there.
So that actually raises a good point with minimising the amount of funnel paths and keeping it simple. I've done a lot of studying on Ryan Levesque and the ask method, and he sort of has the exact opposite approach where he refines it right down to the most minute details, and it works really well for him. I've never been able to get it off the ground though, because it's just too complicated. So, I mean, without speaking about him specifically, what are your opinions on survey funnels?
I love survey funnels, and ClickFunnels is about to come out with a new survey element that actually redirects you based on what your answer is.
Well,
I'm so excited.
That's long
overdue. Actually do what a survey is supposed to do. So thank you. So I don't know when it's coming out. I just know that they released it in a funnel that they had done, and it's beautiful. So hopefully it will come out to the rest of us here soon. But it's a great idea, but limit it. You want to go crazy. You have these tools, you're like, let's use them to the maximum. Whoa. There is a way to manage your build. The more complicated you make it, the more things you have to break, number one.
Yeah, true.
Number two, the more you have in there, the more you won't understand. Ryan Levesque or all these guys that are doing these survey funnels, number one, they've been in this game a long time.
Yes.
They've done all this optimization for years. So now when they build this out, they have all these things plugged in that you don't remember because you never did it. They did. So number one, they're starting above and beyond. Number two, these people also drive massive amounts of traffic. They're just shoving it down the system's throat.
Yeah.
Well, when you shove that much information into a system and you have a mechanism to be able to look at everything, yeah, you can make that work. But it's a beast.
Yes.
They know that up front. So number one, they already know some optimization pieces. And number two, they're sending massive amounts of traffic. So you can optimize it. But it's crazy. And it's usually out of the expertise and monetary budget of your average person who needs a funnel built. They just need something that works.
Yes.
If you need something that works, build it one way, build it the best you can. If it doesn't work, we'll just adjust it.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. All right. So who are your marketing idols or the biggest influences on your career?
So, that's a great question. When I first got started, the first ad that I saw that I talked to you about, start a business from home. His name was Vic Streishaus. He does 4%. It's kind of his training platform. I joined his group when he was promoting Empower Network.
Oh, yeah.
And I never state that I joined Empower Network. If you guys have been around that long, I joined him. There's something to be said about finding an attractive character. You follow a person. You don't follow a course.
Yeah.
So it's very important. All of us, I want to do this, but I don't want to be the person. Look, if you're not going to be the person, they're not going to follow you for the long term. They fall in love with a character. They don't fall in love with a product. They don't fall in love with a brand. Just be it. Step in, create it. Okay. You can still create your brand so that way you don't have to be the face all the time, but do it right. So I followed Vic. Vic is spectacular. As I was following Vic and realizing how hard it was to do this as a solopreneur instead of being in a $1 billion business that's publicly traded, realizing as one little cog, I'm as a solopreneur in a $1 billion business, suddenly I have to build it from ground up. You're oh, there's all this stuff. So as I'm following Vic and realizing everything that goes in, I heard about two people. I heard about Frank Kern on a whim, and I heard about Russell Brunson on a whim. Frank Kern at the time was he still had his hippie drag. He still had the long hair and the beard, and he was living a really comfortable lifestyle. You guys have followed Frank, you'll understand what I mean by comfortable lifestyle. He was comfortable. And Russell was more he had his white shirt buttoned up. He was just I'm a good guy, this is reputable. But the thing that was different for me, I bought from Frank. It was cool. It was some good value. It was obvious principles taught simply. I liked it. Russell, when I bought, he had me buy other things in the exact same system. And when I bought everything in that first funnel because I was desperate, the value was all there. Like everything that I bought was over delivered 2x from what was sold.
Okay.
And I was like, which says two things. Number one, over delivery, yes. But number two, you don't have to sell the entire machine. Sell that one thing that's super attractive inside of that product. Everything else is suddenly a bonus.
Yeah,
Sell
true.
that one thing really well. Everything else will be the bonus. So I was like, holy cow, the first thing that I bought from Russell was the 108 split test book.
Yep.
The first thing I bought from Frank Kern is not the first thing on my desk. It's his Convert book, and it's actually over there. And then I started following product launch formula with Jeff Walker. I started to follow other people in the industry, Anik Singhal, great guy. Like I started following these other people, and each of them were selling a different angle of the same thing. And I started to realize it's all angles. Like it's everybody looking in at one like fish tank and giving their strategy of how to get to the center in between all of the fish. But it's the same fish tank. And so it was really interesting to see like everybody standing around the fish tank and saying, well, this is how you, but it worked. And the person who was giving the most like big overview at the time for me was Russell. That was before .com secrets was born, before expert secrets, before traffic secrets.
Yeah.
It was just, he was like, look, this is the way that this whole system should be set up. It's all about funnels. And inside of funnels lives the copy, and I was like, huh, hooked. Like, I'm not going anywhere. So, like, Russell became the main person that I listened to. He took a lot of weight away from Vic, and a lot of, like, right now, we're in a game of attention spans.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever can control the attention controls your money.
Yeah.
If they sell.
Yeah.
And so the question is, how do you control the attention in your market? Russell like naturally led me over to him. Eventually I would like keep my eye out for the next thing that would pop up, and I would buy early in all these products like Funnelytics. There was a kid that I met. I went to Funnel Hacking Live in 2016. got the years over here because I always forget. Yep. 2016, I'm at Funnel Hacking Live, and I meet this kid in a button-up shirt and a tie and a suit coat, and he is like devouring everything that is being told. Like he's probably like he's about my same age, but he was so dressed up, like he needed to be there, he wanted to be there, but he didn't quite realize what he was doing. Yeah.
Yep.
And so I went over and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm so excited. And he starts writing down everything that he's been doing and everything he's been learning and how this has been more than his entire marketing degree. And I'm like, where are you going to school? Turns out we went to the same school. We knew the same professors. We knew all this stuff. I was like, holy cow, this is nuts. And eventually I started dragging him around and introducing him to people at ClickFunnels and be like, you need to hire this guy. You need to hire this guy. This guy's amazing. You need to hire this guy. It turned out to be Stephen Larson.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about him.
Yeah, turned out to be Stephen Larson. So Stephen Larson went into ClickFunnels, worked with Russell, and has since popped out the other end and is creating his own system, his own business. And so I follow him as well. He's somebody that I follow because it's not because like the messaging like totally sinks in with me personally. It's just because I've seen him since the beginning. At least the beginning that I know of. And it's been a really cool ride just to see him grow. So the people that I follow more strategically. It's really easy in here to follow a lot of people and get a lot of noise and be totally lost. So be careful who you follow, and the person that you follow, dedicate the next 3 months to just delving into this stuff. Just go immerse yourself. It works. But only if you don't follow, the next shiny thing doesn't take your attention away.
True.
Be dedicated. Be focused. If you're going to learn from Aristotle, don't go look at what Plato's doing. Just focus.
Yep. Yeah, I've studied a bit of Steve Larson's stuff, and he's really awesome at teaching, and yeah, just the way he explains it too. It's really interesting, and he puts a lot of personality into it as well. So yeah, he's a great teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Highly. Yeah, no, he does a good job of teaching it where it's intellectually, at the same time as here's my personality. It's just he mixes the two really well.
He does, yeah. He can
totally
switch
agree.
from one to the other like in a matter of seconds, and yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, cool. This has been excellent. So just to finish off, where can people go to find out more about you?
So 2 different places. Kind of depends on what you're looking for. If you guys are listening or watching and you want to follow a bit more, and you're willing to type in a longer domain name, Hack That Funnel Radio. I've been funnel hacking funnel hacking funnels, putting them on YouTube. I've been going through all the things that you need to know, same as Scott's been doing, in my own angle, like my own little angle of the fish tank. So feel free to hop over there. Or if you want the simpler domain name that's easier to follow, just go to benmoote.com. It's got how I work with my customers, how I have my courses, my podcast, my YouTube channel, all that stuff. It's all living there. So you can just go to benmoote.com. And there's a lot of free stuff. So watch, because there are courses and things just laying around. Podcast, my YouTube channel, all that, just go to benmoote.com. And yet, but instead of giving you one direct one, benmoote.com is probably the easiest domain. Otherwise, hackthatfunnelradio.com will take care of you.
Perfect. Well, yeah, I'm going to go check out your podcast in a sec, but we better let you go. Thanks very much for joining us. Really appreciate it, Ben.
No, I appreciate being on. Have a wonderful day, Scott. Take care, guys.
Thanks. Bye.